Standing Watch Over Yashar'el, a counter-strategy guide for men under surveillance. Subtitle: How to War in the Spirit While Walking in the Natural. Introduction. The battle against Yashar'el is older than empires, deeper than politics, and more spiritual than most will admit. Today, the sons of Yashar'el find themselves not just monitored by natural systems, but targeted by invisible forces that seek to wear down, isolate, and neutralize the righteous. Surveillance is no longer just a tactic of governments and intelligence agencies. It has become a spiritual weapon, aiming to control not only movements, but minds, relationships, and destinies. This guide is for the men who refuse to bow, for the brothers whose convictions have made them enemies of a system that thrives on betrayal and manipulation, for those who know that being righteous, bold, and loyal to Yahoo makes you dangerous, not just to the world, but to every spy, handler, and spiritual stronghold designed to destroy Yashar'el from within. You are not paranoid. You are not imagining it. You are at war. But our warfare is not carnal. We do not resist with guns, pride, or paranoia, but with the wisdom of serpents and the innocence of doves. We fight by the Ruach. We stand in strategic obedience. We listen for divine instruction before moving a single step. This guide will teach you how to discern and dismantle espionage tactics used against the men of Yashar'el, how to guard your house, your spirit, your data, and your relationships, how to pray with precision, walk with discretion, and lead with righteousness in an era of betrayal and exposure, how to recognize the 27 espionage strategies, not just in concept, but in action, and respond in both the spirit and the natural. This is not a handbook for fear. It is a manual for those called to stand watch, resist deception, and protect the remnant under the banner of Yahuwah Sebaot. To the watchmen on the walls of Yashar'el, take your post. Stay awake. The war is real, but the victory is Yahuwah's. SunTzu strategy number 1. Raising a host of 100,000 men and marching them great distances entails heavy loss on the people and a drain on the resources of the state. The daily expenditure will amount to 1,000 ounces of silver. There will be commotion at home and abroad, and men will drop down exhausted on the highways. As many as 700,000 families will be impeded in their labor. Interpretation through a modern lens. Citizen spies context. This strategy warns that traditional large-scale warfare is too costly and disruptive. Instead of open military action, the wise, sovereign, or ruling power uses covert strategies like surveillance and espionage to avoid public disruption and maintain control silently. In the context of citizen spies in modern municipalities, rather than arresting or attacking the men of Yashar'el outright, they avoid costly legal battles or protests by embedding informants, community programs, surveillance tech, and predictive policing. Warfare is privatized and decentralized. The community becomes the battlefield, and neighbors become the soldiers. The goal is to weaken Yashar'el quietly, not through obvious war, but through exhaustion, confusion, and internal disruption. Spiritual threat to Yashar. This subtle warfare aligns with the enemy's nature. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Genesis 3:1. Yashar's men are targeted through psychological warfare, systemic harassment, energy-draining distractions, legal manipulation, economic sabotage. The strategy is to drain their strength without triggering awareness of a war. Biblical parallel: Nehemiah 4:7-8. When Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the people of Ashdod heard that the repairs to Jerusalem's walls had gone ahead, they all plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem and stir up trouble against it. But rather than launch a full-scale war, they tried mental exhaustion and intimidation. Me 6:9. They were all trying to frighten us, thinking their hands will get too weak for the work and it will not be completed. Also, Daniel 7:25, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High. This strategy is as old as Babylon and Rome. Oppress without being seen. Drain without direct warfare. Silence without martyrdom. Counter strategy for Yashar'el. Spiritual warfare response. 1. Strengthen spiritual endurance through fasting and prayer. Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon Yahoo shall renew their strength. 2. Recognize invisible warfare. Ephesians 6:12. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. 3. Invoke Yahu's help against subtle enemies. Psalm 35:1. Plead my cause, O Yahoo, with them that strive with me. Practical strategic response. 1. Avoid burnout by establishing rhythms of rest and renewal, Sabbath principles. 2. Document patterns of harassment to build lawful evidence. 3. Decentralize leadership and projects. No single person or family should carry the burden of defense or ministry. 4. Guard time and energy as spiritual capital. Don't engage in every distraction or false flag provocation. Summary. Strategy 1 recap. Espionage tactic. Avoid visible war. Use indirect exhaustion. Spiritual danger. Drains energy. Causes confusion. Mental fatigue. Biblical counter. Nehemiah's vigilance. Isaiah 40:31. Ephesians 6:12. Espionage tactic. Civilian-based pressure instead of overt attack. Spiritual danger. Wears out saints silently. Biblical counter. Strategic rest. Shared burden. Spiritual awareness. Brothers, the war we face is not always loud, but it is always real. You were not chosen to live blindfolded or bound. You were chosen to stand, to watch, and to move in wisdom. Stay anchored in the word, led by the Ruach, and never forget, Yahoo sees every scheme. He hears every whisper, and he defends those who fear him. We are not outnumbered, we are outwatched. And that's why we stand on the wall. Until next time, stay sober, stay set apart, and stay hidden in him.